Hi guys, today I'm just going to talk a little bit about confidence in the weights room, or the weight section, either or. So I thought first of all I would start with beginners in the gym and where you should start if it's your first time or if you're unsure about anything. And that should be starting with some sort of gym induction by an employee of the gym. I'm pretty sure it's a legal requirement that they show you how everything works. If not, I really just think it's a good idea. So they should take you through how every single machine works, where everything goes, who you should ask for help. And by every single machine I do mean the cardio machines as well, because sometimes they look really easy to use, but there's tricks. But especially the weights machines, because that's where you're going to end up, if you're doing it wrong, you're going to end up hurting yourself. And they should show you where the free weights are, where the plates are, where the dumbbells are, where the barbells are, and if they have anything else as well. And take note of that, and take note of where it all goes back, like where everything belongs, because that will become important later. So once you've had your gym induction, you can then start on some sort of training routine. This is really up to you. You need to decide what suits you best, and how much weightlifting you want to do is up to you as well. Personally, I lift at least 4 times a week, and I probably am not quite as happy as I should be if I don't lift 5 times a week plus. But, you know, that's not for everyone, and that's fine. But I think it's important to have at least some amount of weightlifting in your routine. So, now that we know how everything works, we need to focus on strutting into that weight section and doing exactly what we need to do and feeling like, I don't know, feeling like you know what you're doing. So, the first step for me is putting on clothes that make me feel good and make me feel like I look good, so if people even think about staring at me, they're staring for all the right reasons. Again, that's up to you. If you feel good in a baggy t-shirt and shorts, wear that. If you feel good in a tight tank top and, you know, tights, wear that. Wear whatever makes you happy, as long as, you know, your butt isn't hanging out of the shorts, or your boobs aren't going to fall out, or, you know, anything like that. What you wear is fine. So when you go to the gym for your first weight session, you're going to be anxious, and you're probably going to be nervous, and it's all a little bit scary because often there's big dudes in there and they know what they're doing, and they're going to totally judge you if you do anything wrong. But this is totally not true, and it's exactly what I used to think as well. So I was terrified of the weight section, and I would sort of hover around the edges and do whatever machines I could do without looking like a total dork. But as soon as you go into the weight section and you ask for help or start doing stuff with dumbbells or barbells, you'll find that these guys are actually super friendly, and they really want to help you if they can. And that's really important. If they offer their help, or they offer to spot you, or they offer to help you put weights on a machine for you, be polite. You might not need help, and that's fine. You can say, no thanks, I don't need help. But be polite, because they're trying to help you, and they're trying to give some of their knowledge, I suppose. But if you do need help, you really can ask. So a good example is, I'm quite short and I can't reach the plate on the 45-degree leg press if it's set up to the highest setting. I mean, I can reach it, but I can't push it up high enough to click it out so it will come back down. So every time I need to use it, I need to ask someone to set it down in the next setting for me, and that's before I put plates on and anything like that. So for me to have that confidence to ask someone took a little while, but they so don't even care. Like, I've asked, I mean, every time I go, pretty much, I have to ask. So you kind of, if you want to do it, you at some point you have to bite the bullet and ask. If anyone acts like a douche to you, it's usually because they have no idea what they're doing. And we'll come to that a little bit later. So, the next thing is taking it slow and practicing your form over how heavy you can lift. You might think you're really strong and that you can squat your body weight or bench press, whatever. But start slow. A barbell weighs 20 kilos, that's nothing to be laughing at. It's still a decent amount of weight. And if you've never pushed one before, or you've never had it on your back, you should at least start with that first. You can move up from there, and you should move up from there, but start there. Especially bench press. You might not even be able to push a barbell to start with. You might have to use one of the smaller ones, and there's nothing wrong with that. No one is judging you for using a smaller weight, and if they are, they're douches, and you shouldn't you really shouldn't worry about their opinion anyway. So, form is super, super important, or you probably will end up hurting yourself. The best way probably to look at form is on the internet, or again, ask for help. Ask someone who looks like they know what they're doing, where they could just watch you for a set and see if they can give you any pointers. That's easy, and it's a good way to make gym buddies, and you'll need them because you'll need a spot at some point. So, next up I think is gym etiquette, and this is where knowing where everything goes becomes really important, because you need to put everything back once you've used it. This counts for plates, it counts for dumbbells, it counts for resistance bands, anything you can think of. If you've moved it, it needs to go back where it belonged. Being a douchebag in the gym is not going to win you any friends, and it's not going to win you any respect. Knowing where things go and putting things back will. I'm sure you've all seen curling in the squat rack, and I'd never come across it until last week when I went to the gym, and my gym only has 2 squat racks, and one of them was taken by people actually doing squats, which is totally fine. That's good. And the other one was some guy bicep curling. So it's kind of a big deal, I think, to a lot of people, and I think this is important. You should be polite to start with. Ask how many sets they have left, and if they have a few, ask if they could please do it somewhere else, because you don't need to use a squat rack to bicep curl. You really don't. But you do need to use a squat rack to squat. So that's what you can do, and you can ask people to move if they're doing the wrong thing. So I asked this guy to please move out of the squat rack, so I could do squats, and he got a little bit cranky, and I maybe was a little bit sassy, but that's okay. It all comes with having a bit of confidence in the gym, and you know, if he wants to be a gym douche, he can, but I still needed the squat rack. So the other thing, and actually this is kind of combined, is trying your best not to get in everyone's way. So if you need the dumbbells, use them. God's sake, use them. But don't stand right in front of the rack where they all are to do every single exercise, because that's only going to annoy people who also would like to use the dumbbells. So try and find a little bit of your own space if you can. And then, of course, be polite. You're allowed to smile to people. You're allowed to say hi. You don't have to. Well, you don't have to if you don't want to, but I find it helps a lot for when you do need help. Finally, post-lift, you should be stretching every single muscle you have if you can. You'll find you'll need to, or you won't be able to lift properly, and you'll be so sore and so stiff the next day. Foam rolling is really good too if your gym has them, but if not, stretching is great. So again, the internet is great for working out which stretches to do. And finally, you should have an awesome lifting playlist. This can be anything you want, anything that makes you feel badass, basically. Mine is like death metal, but that's not everyone's cup of tea, which is totally cool. And it will take some time, I guess, to find your perfect lifting playlist, and it will never be finished. But any song that makes you feel like you can conquer the world, that should go on your playlist. So if you have any questions, you can ask them and I will do my best to answer them. And until next time, have a great day and lift some weights.